Welcome to today's episode of Decoding Mastery, where we explore the lives of masters who work in different fields like music, sports, business, writing, or any kind of art. I am excited to introduce our guest today, the incredibly gifted Katarina Rankovic, a renowned pianist, composer, and piano professor. Katrina has captivated audiences with her masterful performances and innovative compositions. Her passion for music extends beyond the stage as she shares her knowledge and expertise with the next generation of pianists. We are in for an inspiring conversation. So stay tuned as we explore Katrina's musical journey and the artistry that shapes her unique approach to both performance and teaching. Hi, Katrina. Welcome to my podcast. How are you?
Hi, hello, Vibhor. I'm really good. It's a cloudy day here in Belgrade, but I'm feeling good because it's Sunday and a little bit day for a chill. And how are
Yeah,
you?
I'm perfect. I'm perfect. So before this recording, you were telling me that you have visited India once uh, to
Yes.
attend a marriage. So just to attend a wedding, so just tell your experience. How did you
Yes,
find India?
like 7 or 8 years ago, yes, I was
Hmm.
a few months in India. The starting and the finishing point was in Lucknow because one of my best friends, Natasha, got married to a guy, Ravi, from Lucknow, and I was on the bride side, like some kind of godmother or something similar to Serbian Orthodox tradition, and it was amazing. I was on elephant. I was wearing lenga. We were singing like songs in Hindi. My favorite is "Pela Pela Pyara Hai." Peli
Okay.
Peli Pyare Hai. So
Mm.
yes, it was amazing experience because after that we were exploring also the south and the north of India, Himalaya, Nainital. I was amazed by nature and also with the people. I met amazing people, really talented for like not just art but every field, and such an interesting culture. So definitely, I would take some more time to explore more of India. But it was really amazing experience. And then we hosted Indian people in Serbia, also on the
Wow.
Serbian part of wedding. So I think maybe it's better to ask them. But I think they also had an amazing time because it's different, and what is different is always like catchy for the people. So actually, that was my experience with India.
That's great. So you visited for a wedding in Lucknow and you visited also Nainital and South
Yes,
India.
I was visiting
Okay.
Agra, Nainital, Goa, Kerala,
Oh, okay.
a lot of
South.
cities and also villages. We were exploring not as a tourist because I had like really good touristic guide, which is
Okay.
Ravi, and he's from there, and domestic people. So actually, I was exploring India with Indian people, which is always more better when you are somewhere to explore with domestic people who knows some secret places, not just for tourists. And from which
Okay.
place are you? Like which part of
I
India?
I am from Delhi. I am from Delhi.
Ah,
Yes. Yeah. So though I have lived in almost all parts of India. I have lived in Mumbai and then in South India. I have lived in East India also. So
great.
yeah. But my like home belongs like it's in Delhi. Okay. My
Mhm.
parents also live in Delhi.
Cool.
So
But
yes.
you're Bollywood style.
Bollywood.
Mumbai, yeah.
Yeah, Mumbai. So you visited Mumbai too?
Yes, it was
Okay.
amazing.
It was amazing. Saw any shooting, movie shooting, anything, film shooting?
Actually, I had a lot of photo shooting
Okay.
there
Okay.
because I was like some kind of model for the lehengas and for the saris. So it was an interesting experience, and I really liked the Indian music. So actually, after my returning to Serbia and also in Europe, I was using a lot of the pentatonic scales and some Indian melodies,
Okay.
in music I'm working on.
That's super. So, please tell us about your childhood. How did you find this passion for piano? So I know that you are a pianist, composer, then you are a piano professor. Okay.
Yes, I'm
And
piano.
performance artist. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I actually the my pianist career started since like I was 5 years old.
Oh, 5 years old.
Actually, in this apartment where I'm living now, in Belgrade, and I started first as a little ballerina and a choir member of the troupe when I was 3 or 4, actually, and I was singing and acting in one school of drama and one little theater for the kids. It's called Theater Push, Pozorištance Push. Push means snail, a little
Okay.
snail in Serbian. And after that, I discovered the passion about playing piano and singing, and I asked my parents to enroll me in the like music kindergarten first, and after that in the music school. And that is how it's all started from the mixing, actually, music and drama. I fell in love with art from
Okay.
that theater, but actually I decided to start my way in music, and then I just grew up in a person which I was when I was 5, and that is mixing music, drama theater, and like all kinds of artistic experience on the scene.
So you started at the age of 5. So do you come from a musical family? Your parents?
No, my mom actually she finishes a few years for accordion,
Okay.
but she was too lazy to practice. So, yes, she gave up. But my father is a great singer, although he never sang nowhere except on some parties or something like that. Actually, he told me that he went on the music section in the school for a few months because he was in love with that girl who was going there, but it was for a few months, and that's all. But they all my parents, they have really good ear, and they are really good in singing. So actually maybe I gain that talent from them, but they're not like professional musician. My mom is a writer, that is some kind of artist, but she's not musician.
Okay. So what inspired you to choose piano and composing also? Like I found your profile very impressive that you have done undergraduation, post-graduation, even PhD in music. So when did you decide to take it as a profession? When because you started at the age of 5 learning piano. Okay. So when did you become like inclined towards like anything happened, any event happened in your life that you decided to choose it as a career? Okay. And
uh,
composing. Second thing is composing because you are also composer.
yes, yes. Well, actually, maybe it's funny, but there was one moment I remember from my childhood. Maybe it's not at the point I decided it will be professional, but maybe from energetic way, it was some kind. Like I was practicing piano in my room, and I was then, I think, 7 or 8 years old. It was my first big concert for the solo performance from the
Okay.
piano. And actually there was few times the school girls, like my friends from school, called me to go out to play with them, and every
Okay.
time I had to reject because I was going to a music school after a regular one. And I remember that I was practicing, and then the music suddenly stops. And I was standing next to the window watching the girls playing in the garden, like behind my building. And my mom enters because she heard that I was stopped playing, and she told me, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I would really like to go out to hang out with them." And she told me, like, "Okay, you can do that, but then you cannot play on the concert because you have to prepare, but it's your decision." My parents were always giving me like freedom to choose. And that was the moment where I had first time uh, to choose between the music, piano, and something else, which was also a pleasure in that moment. And I remember that I turned around and sit at the piano again and practicing. So maybe that was my first decision to become a little bit more professional than just playing piano. And the second one was when I decided to enroll music academy after high school. My big
Okay.
passion was also medicine. I wanted to be a doctor,
Oh,
and yes, and I was thinking between enrolling medicine or music academy, and I decided that the music is that it's my life, and that was the second thing when I knew that will be the path I will choose.
okay. So at the age of 7 or 8 years, when you started doing solo performance, that is also like a, I think at that age it's not so easy. So haven't you faced any kind of nervousness, performance anxiety because you started performing solo uh, events? Okay, and that was on piano. You were
Yes,
doing these events.
yes, yes.
So and because at that age it's not so easy, and you made some conscious decision that you will choose piano instead of playing outside. That was the first big decision. Okay. Second, choosing between medicines and music.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, it's like this podcast is all about how masters are different from others, how they live a life that is different, what makes them different from others. Okay, that what kind of childhood they have, what kind of passion they follow, what kind of hobbies, habits, lifestyle, passion, everything. Okay. So any influences in your life in the like in your childhood who inspired you that yes you also want to become like that person, that composer or that pianist? Okay.
Yes, first, I think the first question, which I think is really important, and thank you for
Mm,
asking me, it's about feeling nervous or some kind of anxiety for
yes.
performers. Actually, I don't think it's like it's not just from the for the musician. I think it's in every public performance.
Mm,
Either though you are being asked by your professor to stand up and answer questions at the faculty, or having public speech somewhere, or something similar. I think it is really important to talk about that because the only thing which is prevention for feeling less stressed and anxious is to have more and more public speeches, uh, public concerts, or something in public. I think experience is the strongest chain that somebody like prevents that, but it never stops, because it is some kind of responsibility regarding yourself and the
yeah,
people who trust you. I think it's a matter of trust, and the more you feel the energy of trust between you and the people who are listening to you, in every shape of listening, or they gave you some trust, and you want to fulfill the expectations of this trust. And I think it is also good, like some kind of meditation, or maybe I did on the faculty also Alexander technique. There are different things for different kind of person. We're all different. For you, maybe it can be running, sport before something. For me, maybe it's meditation and chilling with myself. I think it is important to find the cue to prevent the anxiety stress level. It will always be there, like maybe not 100%, but the more experience and the thing you find for yourself to prevent that, I think it's the solution for that. That will be like some observation regarding that, and about some kind of idols or the people I was like influenced by. Maybe I think maybe influenced by, because idol is such a big word, and I think that having idol is really dangerous, because then uh, you can lose yourself and your identity, because then you're projecting yourself to the other person. So maybe the people who had most influence on me, first I think it's from my family. I really have strong women, uh, and I also have now strong women, like generation before and generation now, and like my little niece, which is like on this world. Actually, my grandmothers, the both of them, and my mom, like really big influence about how women in the society, especially in Serbia, is society where the men are having the main word, like everywhere. You cannot be director if you're not a man, because then you are less capable of doing it. For example, I now it's changing a little bit, but nevertheless, it's like that. And regarding that, the strong women regarding also pianism, for example, my favorite was always Marta Argerich, the classical pianist. For me, maybe she's not the greatest, but for me she is, because when you see her with the attitude, with that tone, that beautiful soft tone, but the when you see her, she's strong, but inside soft energy, soft tone. And regarding composition, I am more into minimalistic way of expressing it. Less
Okay.
is more in
Yes, yes.
life and in art. So actually, that will be some of the uh, something which inspires me to create, and which I hope will continue to inspire me.
Okay, that's great. Uh, because I've seen your YouTube channel, so your music is really very, very interesting. I found it very interesting, very persuasive. In fact, I can say that your piano, I've seen some. Your, so, do you enjoy solo performance, or you enjoy working with other musicians when you are on stage? Which one do you find better?
Oh, depends my um, mood.
Okay.
uh, you cannot um you cannot run from cooperating with other musicians. Maybe when you're outer, it's easier because you can control everything. Sometimes I
Yeah.
call myself control freak in life, so maybe that's why I choose piano, because you are, your own boss. But there was like one part of my life where I was enjoying in socializing with the people. So actually, I was enjoying chamber music. Nowadays, I explored and came to different conclusions about music, and I'm mixing. Probably you saw on my YouTube channel. I'm mixing electronic way of expression and acoustic one. So it was a challenge for me to because I experienced a lot in acoustic way, and I wanted to learn and to explore more in electronic way. And I was doing it by myself and wanted to mix it by myself. That was one of the projects I was doing for my PhD also, the confrontation of the electroacoustic sound and like the symbiosis of those two, like some kind of two lovers or two actors on the stage. So nowadays, maybe I prefer to work by myself, and maybe I'm more comfortable because I can control things. But you cannot always be in your comfort zone. So sometimes work with the people can be really hard. Regarding I'm piano professor, I know that, and it's difficult, but it's also challenging. So both of the sides has like good and bad stuffs. Maybe just I was working nowadays with the projects where I'm just a composer, and I was working by myself more these days. So maybe I'm now in the mood for just being solo.
Okay. Okay. So, Katrina, again going back to your childhood, you told that at the age of 7 and 8, you started performing solo. Okay, you started practicing at home for solo. Okay, then you told that your grandmothers were a big source of inspiration for you. Okay, because when there are many like males who are in most of the professions, so it give you that kind of strength that you can do
Yes.
the same thing. Okay. Third, I want to understand your uh, rituals that you are following because you told that to reduce the performance anxiety, the best thing is when you're doing again and again, the experience helps you to overcome that nervousness, that performance anxiety. Still, you still everyone feels some kind of performance anxiety whenever there is a new uh, event now or new performance. Okay, so what kind of rituals you're following since your childhood that had helped you not just to master that but kind of mindset to go with that kind of mindset when you're performing whenever it's a new show for you. So what kind of rituals you are following, like you told you are doing meditation. Okay, and uh, what else had helped you since your
Yes,
childhood?
actually, there were some things when I was a child. Yeah, I was like when I had a good performance, I remembered that how I put it things before that, like on my table next to my bed table next to my bed, or on the piano, or the way I was putting the sheet, the scores, piano scores, like the way I was like putting which was first, second, or something like that, the way I was making my hair, or sometimes I was like wearing the same things that in which I was playing, so because it's a good fortune. And then it was like too much for me at one point, and I discovered that I was less successful performances, but I was doing the same thing. So I figured out it's not about that, it's about me and not the things I was doing it or wearing. So I started to communicate with myself, with my inner self, because at the end, when you sit on the piano chair or when you stand to sing or something, you don't have anything else beside yourself in that moment. And that connection between this and this, mind and heart, it's like most important thing, like which is balance. And when you feel shaking and or something else, for me it was the thing like breathing, not because of the meditation. I'm a really temperament person, you see, like I'm totally like chatty and everything, and meditation was really difficult way for me to chill. uh, I I also tried yoga. For me, it was I was like laughing all the time, and it was not really good for yoga trainer and me, because I don't have so much patience, and I don't think it's good. But I was teaching myself, and I also went to some kind of courses and watching the other persons who are good with that, of breathing. I think the breathing and the way of your heart beatings, your amplitude of heart to come on the level where your body is, first of all, in some kind of peace or like some kind of coming to the peace. I think that is the most important, that was and is the most important thing for me. For everybody else, it's different. Maybe some calm persons need some kind of adrenaline. For somebody who is full of adrenaline as me, it is more about being calm and coming to that point of balancing your inner self and outer self.
Superb. So this has helped you since your childhood. So meditation, yoga, and talking to yourself. Okay, to
Yes,
your inner self.
maybe meditation it's not a good
Mm,
because then we're going to some other kind of
mm.
of of science. Maybe it's more about learning how to breathe and to calm yourself through that.
That's very important. So what do you think, Katrina, to become a great pianist? What kind of qualities one should try to acquire? What kind of qualities they should we have?
Discipline,
Okay.
hard
And
work.
if you talk about discipline, what do you mean exact? Like how many hours you are practicing every day? And you told that in your childhood you wanted to play outside, but then you decide yourself this is more important. That is again the part of discipline that to control yourself. Like nowadays, it's very easy to get like there are so many kind of gadgets are there. Okay, so it's very easy to change your focus, to move your focus toward others, and distractions are there. Okay, so just talk about your discipline first, then we'll go to the other points.
Yeah.
Like what kind of discipline you are following? Yeah.
Yes. I heard once that when you're starting to play piano, you need less hours when you're starting, and you need more and more hours when you are going on the upper level. And for the strings, it's opposite. You need more hours to come to the tone, and less hours when you take all those techniques and you make the tone goes out. Actually, I don't know for the strings because I don't play that. Maybe it's better to ask some violinist or somebody else. But for piano, I'm sure about that. As you're going to upper and upper level, you discover more and more treasure which is there. And there is always something new in piano.
Yeah.
You cannot. I started as a classical pianist, then I went to learn improvisation, which is totally different way of thinking and technique. And now I'm doing my author's music with the electronic gadgets. And maybe I can call myself what is putting me in the discipline is different kind of things I'm finding as a focus in piano, because I'm always finding something new, like maybe MIDI or playtronica or something which is connected with the piano always, but something new which will keep my focus and me, myself, and I to be disciplined. Like some child, when something is boring, you let that go.
Some exciting things come up because it
Yeah.
will not feel you bored that you are doing the same thing again and again. So new kind of
Yes.
ways to pursue this. Okay.
So yes, that's the key for my discipline. For me, being disciplined.
Okay. That what else? What other qualities? You said hard work.
Yes, hard work. A lot of sacrifice. It's not like just a floskula, A lot of everybody. Well, you need to sacrifice. You don't need to sacrifice yourself that much. You can still have your private life. You can still have your friends, and you can still have everything else. But you know, when you're a kid, the sacrifice is more than when you are grow up, because it's like that in art, in like especially classical music art and maybe ballet. It's like that. Everything you learn, and the most of that is when you are a kid. And
Yeah.
when you're a kid, you want everything else besides sitting at the piano. You want everything, to go to the cinema, go out, to go to the birthday parties. I had everything, you know. I was the kid who was also going to the birthday parties, the cinema, etc. But there were days when I was sitting like 9 or 10 hours with a pain in my hands because I wanted more. I wanted more of myself, and I decided that was the moment actually. Every time when I decided to sit 1 hour more, 2 hours more, I think those were all the moments where I decided that is my path.
That is very important to make decision like 1 hour more. So we say like in practice one more time. Okay.
One more,
So
yes,
one
it's
more
like
time.
sport. It's like a sport, you know. It's
Yeah.
nothing different than, like, for example, Novak Djokovic. Probably you know for him, like, you know, he's number one because there was always one more time, just one more time. Next time will be better, and then it's next time, and then you are coming like to the 100 time more, and it's like that, never ending
Yes.
story.
Never ending story. That's so important. So as a composer, what do you think? What is the most crucial skill to learn to become a great composer? From good to great. That is more important.
Yes, from good to great. First, it's about profiling yourself as a composer.
Okay.
Uh, in which genre you would like to act. I found myself maybe not in the genre which is really paid, like pop music or techno music, or I don't know, in Serbia, really, really paid music. It's like turbo folk music. Maybe I chose the path where I won't be paid or so popular or recognized in the way like Lady Gaga is. Just not to figure it out, not to be understood bad. I love Lady Gaga and Beyonce and everything, but that's not my path. I chose the music for the film, for the theater, and for the visual arts. And that is because I always like to mix that. I adore theater, I adore movies, and since I was a kid, I was in theater. So the some natural way was just to come to the connection of that. And I think uh, what is the thing which is made good and the great composer is the some kind of softness and some kind of playfulness doing it. It doesn't need and it doesn't have to be difficult, and it doesn't have to take hours and hours to make a good composition. Mozart did it in 10 minutes, one of the greatest aria, and I think the playfulness with which you are doing it and composing it is the way of showing your talent and what can make you from good to the great.
Okay, superb. So now whenever you go for a live performance, what kind of mental and physical preparation you do? Because if you have to perform for a long time, okay, or it's a challenging program. So nowadays, what kind of preparation you do?
Uh, well, uh, working on my last 2 or 3 big projects, for example, I will take my PhD. Uh, it was really huge, and I was doing everything, not just composing and not just performing, but all the production, from the glasses which will be on the performance. It's important to talk about that, I think, because mostly composers and musicians are not just the stars who are coming to their events and they are just performing. I think that most of the people are everything, starting from the production to organize the video, the photo, the people who are into your performance, for example, dancers, other musicians. First, you need to organize all of that. And then, if you find time, there is some small time left focusing on 1 hour before my performance the girl came like, oh my god, we don't have enough space for, I don't know, somebody called to sit somewhere. I was
Okay.
like, sorry, that's not my problem anymore. The limit where you stop letting other people entering your energy before performance and entering
Mm.
your aura, let's call it like that, is the way when I'm starting to communicate with my inner self to be prepared for the performance. I think again it's different from artist to artist, but for me it's the moment when enough is enough for the other energies, and where I take time with me and my energy to be not distracted by anything else between communicating with myself. Because, it's also in life. If you're good for yourself, then you will be good for the others. If I'm in a good mood and in the good balance for myself on the stage, the audience will also feel that energy. And I think for me, that is the most important thing.
I think you have very good control on your mind that where to stop, because it's not easy to say no. And that I think it's because of your meditation and your practice since your childhood. So, because you are a professor of piano, so how do you balance your time between performing, composing, and teaching? You have time
Um,
management skills, definitely.
Never ending story. Yeah. Well, you cannot decide when the inspiration will come for the composition. And sometimes it's happening in the middle of the night, sometimes in the morning. But when there is will, there is time. That is my opinion. And also, if you love something, like I love music really, and nothing is hard to you, even though you're sometimes like 2 days in a row not sleeping very well, or you don't have time even to wash your hair or something like that. It's not always easy, and it's not always so lovely, but at the end and in the life and at the end in life, love wins. So I think the love for what am I doing and for what I choose win every time.
Okay. So, you work, I think, means 5 days a week, or even in weekends also you work? Uh,
uh, there is no rule.
Okay.
Sometimes yeah, like sometimes I take 1 month off because I really like to travel and to explore new things, not regarding just my job. I really like just to go to some exotic place, for example, Bali or Vietnam or something, just as a tourist, without anything, without phone ringing for my job or something, because that is something where I'm taking the inspiration and energy for something new. So sometimes I just take off 1 month, or sometimes when I feel enough is enough, I take just 3 days, go to the nature, explore, sit, look at the tree, or listening to the river, or just enjoying with my friends and family. And sometimes I'm just working, like whole weekend without any break, because that's the way it is when you're working on a project in theater. There is no schedule. It's a live thing. It's live thing. The inspiration comes to director Sunday at 5 a.m. So Sunday is the day for working. Um, it's different than working in office, and as much as it's lovely, it's difficult, but it's what it's what you choose.
So you enjoy your life, like traveling, spending time with family, as well as working if it is required. You work even on weekends also. That's great. Okay. So
Yes,
Katrina,
you need to have something which charges you, not
yes,
just regarding your job, but
yeah,
is that a nature or spending time with friends or family or something totally different, or go to a football game. It's a personal thing, but I think there should be also that way of charging, recharging, excharging. So yes, that's the cycles of life and of how one person function.
okay. That's very important because it helps you to recharge and come back with a better performance. Okay.
Yes.
So as a composer, do you write only for piano or do you explore other instruments too?
I write for everything.
Okay.
I write even for the citra, for Chinese instruments. I wrote something. Uh, the beginning and everything, the first melody and the harmonizing, it's always from the piano.
Okay.
But yes, which instrument will perform that? That comes after, or sometimes even when I'm having in mind, okay, it's for the harp. First, I'm doing it on the piano because it's the closest instrument to my heart. So that's the way where all starts, and where it goes, it's just the matter of the project, inspiration, or something else.
Okay. So many instruments you have explored already. Okay. But your
Yeah.
love is for piano. Okay. So how do you choose your pieces that you want to perform on concert? So any kind new concert is coming and how do you choose your pieces of music that you want to perform?
If it's something where I'm cooperating with somebody, it's
Yeah.
mostly like the person invites me and it's
Organizers.
already set. But if I'm doing for myself, it's mostly with my music friends, like cooperation with other composers, or I call my friends to make some piece together. I start the melody and they just add something, and then we make something together and we perform that for the others. But it's the essence of what I love to listen and to perform in my room, like some kind of dramatical, theatrical, classical music with the influence of minimalistic electro pop, something like that.
So
It's
I
like
am
a
very
big It's like a
okay.
big soup with a lot of ingredients.
Uh,
Ingredients.
okay. So I'm very curious to know about your creative process when you're composing a piece of music. So can you elaborate like how you compose a piece of music? What kind of like stepwise, so that
Mhm.
people who are like
Well,
who want to learn composing.
for
Hmm.
example, the latest piece I composed, it's elegy for the piano and orchestra and also clarinet. And it came just it was January, like 1 month ago, and it's really dark month in Europe. Like everything is so dark, it's snowy, and I prefer sun and summer. But I think the good things and some artistic things never came for being happy in your life, like feeling happy, because when you feel happy you don't want to do anything except being happy and go out to share it with other people. But when you feel like a little bit dark or a little bit melancholic, um, I'm like person who often has that feeling of being melancholic, nostalgic. It's like in the blood of Balkan people. I don't know what. I was feeling a little bit nostalgic, melancholic, and a little bit of sad. And I just came with a melody in my mind and sit at the piano and just started to play really without any intentions of doing anything. I was just starting to play to feel really better. And then I was like, okay, I will record that because everything is in my small studio room. So I just press record and I play the piano. And then I was like, okay, I really need something to be more heavy because my feelings were heavy. And I added the orchestra and that line of the clarinet, which was very sad because that was the line of my heart in that moment. So mostly it comes for the moment where when I feel like there is no other solution to cheer myself up or to let go the heaviness I feel except of just letting it go to the music. Sometimes I don't record that. Sometimes I just play and it's my piece, but it's never recorded. But most of the time, I just record even on my phone, and it is being used, and it will be used, or it was used in some occasions, maybe a year or two after I was like letting it go. So it's like that, from the
Oh,
heaviness of the soul.
heaviness of the soul. So, how do you perfect a piece of music? Any method or any strategy do you follow when you're perfecting a piece of music?
When am I perfecting?
Perfecting means when you are trying to become a master in that piece of music.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
mastering. Yeah, perfecting.
yeah.
I was thinking that I didn't hear. Like
Okay.
I'm when I'm doing a mastering. Yeah, uh, I use like if you think on the program or something, I do in Logic or Cubase. That is the way where I'm mastering the levels or something for the quality of the sound. But regarding anything else, no. It's just the some programs where the people are working, like I know Logic, Cubase, some program which most of the people who are recording using for the mastering of good quality of the sound, or just to write scores for the other musician who will perform that.
Okay. So now let's talk about your teaching skills. Okay. So how do you help your students develop music emotionally as well as technically? So because music involves both things, technical side as well as emotional side. So how are you helping your students?
There is a quote for me in the institution where I'm teaching. Like I have a class from 15 students, and they call the hippie commune class because
Okay.
everything is allowed. Like everything can be played or said like without judging, and they
Okay.
know that from the beginning where they enter the classroom. um, I'm teaching classical piano, but
Hmm.
what I want to improve in emotional way of doing with them is to teach them that there is no mistake. There is no like no, I made a mistake. There is no mistake. Mistake is also good thing, because and also I teach them from my example and experience that I was doing mistake. Because if you said someone you don't make mistake, or you don't, you need to show the example, and it starts from you. If you are a figure in their life at that moment, that means that you are also human with the mistakes in your life. That's the first thing. The second thing is I teach them that even though if they know only one or two notes to play, or they know every note on the piano, to make their own compositions. Like even it's like da da da, even if it's three tones, but it's theirs, and to explore themselves in that way and express themselves. Never mind if they're going to be great pianist or no pianist at all, or they will be some worker in a bank, but just to teach themselves that they can use them and the piano in that way. And regarding technical things, I think if you interested your student in emotional thing, then the easiest way is to teach them to be disciplined, it's like a kindergarten. To be disciplined and to sit to practice one more time technique tics if they're interested in something firstly emotional.
Okay, so if they're interested, if they are already emotional about the music, so it comes from the inside. They will automatically try to bring discipline in their life and try to learn technical side of the music. Okay, that's so. Katrina, how do you approach teaching advanced students differently from beginners? You talked about your classes. So if the students are at a advanced stage, so how do you approach teaching them?
If they are older students,
Hmm.
do you mean about the students who are who decide themselves to be a pianist, or for the students like who are like just older and just want to have it for the fun? It's
No, they are in
different thing.
advanced stage, means not older students, but they are learning for a while, and now they are
Uh-huh.
like, at a higher level.
Okay. Well, I approach everybody with the same thing, and it's about how what is my role there in your life? Why am I here? I first listen to them. The people and the professors mostly they forgot to listen, and I think the important thing is to listen to somebody who is in front of you or next to you on the instrument. First I listen to what they want to learn new, what is their wish about. There are no there are sometimes the compositions somebody just not feeling well with playing them. Somebody is most comfortable with playing Mozart and somebody has a hand for Rachmaninoff. So you need to approach to the person really individually. First you need to see their physical way. If I have small hand, I cannot play pieces to struggle myself for the big hands. So for the advanced students, first I approach to see the physical way of their playing, the way on the level of their technique, and then I come to the inner one to see what drives them. Okay, sometimes you don't have to choose. For the exam, you need to play Mozart, Bach, Beethoven, or something. But I want to help them in profiling them as a pianist together with themselves. Um, to let someone be free is to teach them how to discipline themselves in finding that freedom in them, I
Okay,
think.
that's great. That's great. So you mentioned about improvisation in music earlier. So what role does improvisation play in your musical life as a composer as well as a pianist?
The biggest problem on my faculty was that I was improvising even playing Debussy. It was a scandalous exam. I was third year uh, on my bachelor degree, and I was playing Debussy Suite. I was playing Prelude in C sharp minor. I remember everything because it's drama thing. I was playing, and for me, the biggest weakness for me is that I stop playing and put my hands down. No matter what, I was like, I will play from beginning to the end. Not just that, but everything. For me, to put your hands down and to give up, like it's the biggest weakness for the artist pianist. And I was playing, and I forgot the third page. I forgot the notes, the scores, the everything. And I started to improvise, just to improvise in the C sharp manner, to improvise, to play something. And I remember like the fifth page, and I just played the end, and I finished. Uh, that was the way where, except my professor who stands by me, everybody else, you could feel the rigidness of the professors who were like, it's not allowed. It's not allowed to do that. And that was the moment where I figured it out that improvising is something I want to do, and that I am not born that way just to reproduce the music. There are pianists who are amazing in that, but from the childhood, I was improvising. Even when I was playing with a 7 or 8 years old, I was playing some of my notes inside the composition. And I just knew that I'm not that cup of pianist, and that I'm the other one, which is like to improvise, because I improvise live. So I improvise music. I improvise, I improvise in the day something like when it's not the way it should be for me, myself, and I, then I improvise the path. So I think that's also in music, in my way of approaching to the music. So that is fun fact where when I decided just to transfer from the classical pianist to improvisation mood of pianist composer.
Sometimes some incidents happen and that led to become better in that
Yeah,
particular
yeah.
area.
Incident is a good is
Yeah.
a good word for that.
So
I'm
yeah.
sure for the professors of the faculty, it was really a big incident.
Okay. So have you ever faced what is the most challenging composition you have ever uh, or composition or you can say performance, which was your most challenging one?
Well, my PhD, because I told you it was everything. It was everything, and I was like, that was the moment when I figured it out why it should be 10 people working on one project and not just only one. And that was the moment when I figured it out that every job in art is important, and that every person is a circle in a chain. So it was challenging because I was exploring between medicine and music. It was something new, and I needed to demonstrate that to the academic part of people. It was challenging because it was the biggest thing for me in my education, and it was challenging because I didn't know, is it going to be well, to be good, because it's something which was never done before. That's why it's PhD. So the level of stress was amazing. The level of job was like huge, and it is one time life experience, and everything passes in life, so that's best, luckily good. And
Yeah.
I think that was the, for now, most challenging project, a solo project I was working on.
So which is the hardest piece of music you have ever learned?
No, it's not the hardest.
Okay.
It's not the hardest because it's mine. The hardest piece of music was when I was on my faculty, where I needed to learn from the scores. And I told you I have really problem with learning from the scores. For me, the hardest pieces is to play from the scores, because I'm not that type of pianist, and I'm amazed by people who do that perfectly. So for me, the hardest pieces was to play pieces on the faculty. After that, the hardest pieces wasn't just playing something, but everything what comes with that.
Okay. So do you face creative blocks?
The
Creative blocks? Do you face creative blocks? Uh,
cr-
like
credit,
creative blocks means like
creative
you're
blocks.
blank.
Creative
Yeah.
blocks. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I have creative blocks. That's what we were talking about. Um,
How do you deal
Mostly
with it?
like. Mhm.
How do you
Yes.
deal with it? Yeah.
How do I deal with the creative blocks? Well, I just let go. I'm like, you need to
Any other
recognize.
hobbies? Any hobbies which
Yes,
change
that's
your
that's mo- that's mostly traveling, like hobbies.
traveling?
I cannot call it hobby, but you need to find the something when you come to that point.
Hmm.
What will return you to fabric, to the basic. It's mostly reading,
Hmm.
traveling, and alone time. I think that the creative blocks for me comes when I'm in burnout, when it's too much of
Okay.
everything,
Too
when
much of
it's too much
everything.
of everything, of life, of everything. From the time you get up to make breakfast, to think about how you will survive the day, or something like. It's not so dramatic, but it's life. It's not just art. You need to live. You need to pay bills. And when I come to burnout, it's the moment when the creative blocks comes, and I need to let it go, everything, and to return to the basic.
Okay. Fine. So it helps you
Yes.
when you are burnout. Okay. So what do you enjoy most about teaching piano?
What do I enjoy most? I enjoy mostly to do with really small kids, because then you are you are the first pages of their not opened notebook for the music, and the influence you give them, it's like priceless. I think the most important persons in my life, in my musical education, was the person I met in my first or second year of learning piano.
Oh, okay.
So I think that, as the kid is making their character till 50 years of life, I think also in music or in education, the first years of that are for the children most important, about are they going to choose something or not, or what is going to be their view on the musical education or on
Okay.
music generally.
So what is an ideal age to start learning piano? What do you think? You started
What
learning at the age of, I
age?
think,
Age.
yeah.
Oh, I think it should be early age, not just piano. I think that the meeting music and getting in touch with the music through
Mm.
learning some instrument, it should be like even from fifth or sixth year. No matter are you going to continue or not, I think that every child uh, need to have opportunity to explore a little bit of playing some instrument, even for a year.
Okay.
But for the professionals, I think it's easier for them to start early because they have more energy and everything. The older you are, the more tired you are. So I think the earliest age, like 6, 7, is good age.
Perfect age. Okay. So what do you think about technology? That how technology has changed the way now composers and musicians work? How technology is helping?
Through my experience, it helps a lot because I'm mixing
Okay.
electronic music and gadgets regarding recording music. I think it helps a lot, but like every technique, and also now AI or something which is happening, you need to use technology well in your way, and not to let go that they rule your inspiration. I think it is just a helper in your way of creating, or it's just a small part of helping, and you don't need to let go that technique becomes first in your inspirational way.
Okay.
So the balancing between creativity and using gadgets for implementing it actually in your creativity is the balance between those two.
Okay. So, do you teach online or only in classrooms? Because
I teach both.
you teach both.
I teach,
So, what kind of challenges are you facing in classrooms, especially for next generation kids who are like so much used to gadgets, so much distraction is there. So, what kind of challenges are you facing in teaching in classrooms?
a lack of attention, lack of attention. But when you're a piano professor, it's easier because it's one-on-one.
Okay,
So
one on
it's
one.
easier to control the lack of attention than when you are in a group working mode. So for
Okay,
me, it's way more challenging to be a professor of some group. And I think it's the better question for them because when you are one on one, it's easier to control the energy between you and the student.
okay. One final question, Katrina. So, what advice would you
Bring
like to
it
give?
on.
Okay. Okay. So it's so because it's like a master class to learn from you, and because you are first of all your PhD in piano in music, and second thing you are not just a performer, you are a composer as well as you are a teacher, professor. So like it's all you are living in a music world. So and you are having the experience since your childhood, since the age of
Yeah.
6.
Are you a
Yeah.
musician? Are you a musician?
I am. No, but I have a lot of interest in mastery in different fields because I started this podcast to explore the lives of masters from different fields, whether it's music or
I
sports or arts or anything. Myself, I am an author. So I've written books on sales and marketing and business, but I have like too much interest in mastery because you see what happens uh, why I started this podcast because many people are ambitious. They want to become like you. They want to become masters like you, but they are having not patience, that kind of patience, especially the young people, young generation, and lot of there are so many gadgets, so many things, and they're looking for shortcuts to explore your life. People like it helped them to understand, okay, that is not as easy, and they have to go through the process, they have to follow the process, whether it's your
yeah.
lifestyle, habits, hobbies, your passion, everything, your discipline, all these things matter to become great like you. Okay, so what kind of advice would you like to give to uh, young people, young generation who want to develop their own style, who want to develop their own style in music, who want to have their own voice, want to become very different identity in a music. They want to create their own name. What kind of advice would you like to give to them?
I would like to tell them that even though if it's hard and it will be hard, believe me, there will be moments when you will be able, actually able, and will be able to give up everything because it will be really hard and living the musical way of living or being disciplined in every way like in sport and in music it's difficult and there will be personal and also like outer some kind of barriers where you come to them. Uh, the most important thing is when it comes to that to let go on like few days or 1 month everything and just to come back to yourself. You will find a way. For me it's traveling, for somebody it's like to just let go so you can be returned, just to let go and walk away from that so you can be returned fresh and new for continuing where you stopped. And maybe maybe the sentence "do not give up" will be like, everybody don't give up. You have to give up on a small amount of time So you figure it out. That is something which is most close and important to your heart to be back to that.
Okay. To not give up, and it's a lot of hard work and a lot of
Yes.
sacrifices. Uh, Katrina, how easy or difficult it is to learn online? Because there are many, many, many people around the world who don't have piano in their school. In fact, I remember in my school there was no piano.
Yeah, I
So
know.
if there is no musical instrument, we had a lot of other instruments like guitar, sitar, and other tabla, all
Yeah.
these kind of instruments, but not piano. Okay, so if we haven't seen that playing ourselves, so how can we generate love for that instrument? Okay,
Well,
so
luckily today we all have gadgets. Yes. So, for example, you can install virtual piano on your computer or on your mobile. I
okay,
think it's cool. I think it's cool. And when I'm thinking about the option of learning something new, which I don't have, actually, that is the way we should use technology for us. So install virtual piano in your mobile phone just to learn notes. Then, or your computer, it's bigger, or your iPad, or your something, you know. So start from something. The easiest way is to say no. I don't have opportunity. Where there is will, there is opportunity. I'm sure. Where there is will, there is the way to find a way. Sometimes when I didn't have a piano in some hotel room or somewhere, I was drawing the keyboards on the papers and putting them down and practicing in the hotel room just to have in my mind like the positions, or I was listening the playing and I was playing together with that. So there is always a way.
great. Thank you so much, Katrina, for sharing your insight, sharing your experience,
Thank you.
and a lot of things. I learned so many things from you.
Thank
So
you.
let me know whenever you visit India again. Okay.
Yes, Belgrade and Serbia, it's really nice.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Katrina. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you and have a nice day.
Yeah. Same to you. Wish you all the best. Thank you. That wraps up today's conversation with the amazing Katrina Rankovic. From her rich experiences as a pianist and composer to her dedication as a professor, Katrina's insights have been nothing short of inspiring. Be sure to check out her work and follow her journey. Links to her YouTube channel and other social media pages are mentioned in the description. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Decoding Mastering. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Until next time, keep exploring the beautiful world of music.